Ashley felt the weight of suspicion pressing against her chest long before she found the proof. Derek's sudden death had been explained away as a tragic accident, a loss that everyone grieved but quickly accepted. Yet something in the silence surrounding it was too neat, too carefully arranged, as if the chaos of tragedy had been swept under a rug before anyone could truly see the stains beneath. In the days that followed, Ashley carried her sorrow like a shroud, but beneath it, questions began to claw at her resolve. Why had Derek's final hours been shrouded in gaps of information? Why did certain financial records vanish? And why did Ted, the man she had trusted for so long, seem so eager to comfort her while guiding her away from asking questions? It was during a sleepless night, when grief turned into restless searching, that Ashley stumbled upon inconsistencies hidden in Derek's documents. His accounts were unsettled, contracts rewritten, and entire pieces of property suddenly rerouted under complex trusts that all funneled toward Ted's control. At first, she refused to believe what she was seeing. Ted had been the figure of stability, the one who had reassured her after Derek's passing, the one who always had explanations. Yet the more she pieced together the fragments, the more a chilling truth emerged. Derek had not simply been taken by fate, he had been targeted, carefully erased to clear the path for someone else's dominance. The realization struck Ashley with a force so brutal that she could hardly breathe. Ted was no victim of circumstance, no innocent bystander caught in grief. He was the architect of betrayal, weaving plans beneath layers of charm and loyalty. His ambition was not limited to business decisions or small manipulations, it was a hunger that extended to the entire estate, a desire to eliminate anyone who stood between him and absolute control. Derek had been the first obstacle, removed under the guise of tragedy, and Ashley now understood she was next. Her days became a blur of silent investigation. Each document she uncovered, each ledger she examined, revealed a network of deception meticulously designed to hide Ted's hand. He had used others to mask his involvement, hired shadows to execute tasks, and kept his reputation clean. But buried beneath layers of financial maneuvers and altered contracts lay his signature, faint yet undeniable, binding him to the conspiracy. Ashley realized that Derek's death was not only about inheritance, it was a calculated move to consolidate influence, strip away rivals, and shape the estate into an empire under his iron grip. What terrified Ashley most was not just the betrayal, but how close Ted had positioned himself to her. In every moment of weakness, he had been there, whispering reassurances, cloaking his manipulation in the guise of compassion. She had confided in him, leaned on him, trusted him when her world crumbled. To discover that every gesture of support had been laced with ulterior motives made her skin crawl. Each memory now twisted into evidence of deceit. The estate itself became a prison. Every corner seemed to hold echoes of Derek's absence, and every shadow reminded Ashley of Ted's looming threat. She replayed the nights Derek had expressed unease, the moments he hinted at pressures she never fully understood. It dawned on her that Derek must have suspected something, but his realization had come too late. His warnings had been subtle, buried in casual remarks, but now they resonated as unheeded alarms. Derek had tried to shield her, and in doing so, had fallen into Ted's trap. As Ashley continued her search, she unearthed a darker layer. Ted had already begun orchestrating the removal of other figures who might challenge him. Business partners suddenly withdrew, relatives distanced themselves, and allies vanished under mysterious circumstances. Each disappearance or retreat was linked to quiet threats, financial coercion, or subtle accidents that no one dared question. Ted's reach extended further than Ashley had imagined, and his willingness to destroy was boundless. He was building an empire of fear, cloaked in respectability, while privately ensuring that no one could rival him. Ashley knew that silence would not protect her. She was already entangled in his web, already marked by her discovery. If Ted realized that she was uncovering his secrets, her fate would mirror Derek's. Yet the thought of staying quiet gnawed at her conscience. She could not let Derek's death become another forgotten tragedy, another casualty buried beneath wealth and influence. Every night she lay awake, torn between fear and determination, knowing that her survival depended on her ability to outthink the man who had already outmaneuvered everyone else. The tension grew unbearable when Ashley discovered a set of hidden correspondence. Letters, encrypted within business communications, revealed Ted's chilling mindset. He wrote of Derek as an obstacle and hinted at others who might soon fade from relevance. The cold detachment of his words made Ashley tremble. Derek had not been a brother, a friend, or an ally in Ted's eyes, he had been a barrier to be removed. The language stripped away any lingering doubt. Ted's ambitions were absolute, his conscience non-existent. With each revelation, Ashley felt herself spiraling between despair and fury. The man she had once considered trustworthy had not only shattered her world but had carefully orchestrated it for his gain. Every shared meal, every conversation, every gesture of solidarity had been nothing more than a performance staged to blind her to his true intentions. Her grief for Derek was now fused with rage, a fire that threatened to consume her. She could not allow Ted to continue unchallenged, yet every step toward exposing him pushed her closer to danger. The estate's grandeur, once a symbol of family legacy, now felt like a monument built on betrayal. Each hallway whispered of Derek's absence, each room reminded Ashley of what had been stolen. The opulence seemed grotesque, a facade masking the rot beneath. Ashley realized that Ted's ambition was not just about wealth, it was about dominance, about rewriting the legacy of the family with his name etched above all others. He sought to erase rivals not only from inheritance but from memory itself, ensuring that history would remember only his triumphs. Ashley's solitude became her shield. She confided in no one, trusting no allies, fearing that Ted's influence stretched too far for safety. The loneliness was suffocating, yet it kept her alive. Each day she wore a mask of composure, pretending to accept Ted's guidance, concealing the storm that brewed within her. She moved with caution, studying him as he had once studied her, biding her time while she pieced together the evidence that would expose him. Yet the closer she came to the truth, the more dangerous the game became. Ted was meticulous, always watching, always calculating. He sensed changes in demeanor, shifts in routine, and Ashley knew that even the smallest misstep could betray her. The house seemed filled with eyes, the staff aligned with Ted, their loyalty bought or coerced. Ashley realized she was not only battling Ted but an entire structure of control that he had built around himself. Despite the suffocating fear, Ashley's resolve hardened. Derek's death would not be in vain. The empire Ted sought to build on betrayal would not stand unchallenged. Ashley understood that her fight was not only for justice but for survival, for reclaiming the legacy that had been stained by deceit. She prepared herself for the inevitable confrontation, knowing that exposing Ted would mean risking everything. But the thought of silence, of surrendering to his tyranny, was unbearable. The more she uncovered, the more the puzzle completed itself into a horrifying picture. Ted was not a man corrupted by sudden opportunity, he had been cultivating this scheme for years, laying foundations, manipulating outcomes, positioning himself for the moment when he could seize control without opposition. Derek's death was not the beginning but the culmination of a long, deliberate path. And Ashley realized that she had been living beside a predator all along, blinded by his charm and deceived by his mask of loyalty. Her awakening was painful but absolute. Ted was the shadow that had consumed her world, the betrayer who had torn Derek away, the mastermind who believed himself untouchable. Ashley knew the danger of underestimating him, but she also understood the strength of truth once revealed. She carried that weight with her, determined to break the silence, to bring light into the darkness that had stolen so much from her. The fight ahead would be brutal, but Ashley no longer trembled before it. She embraced the storm, ready to confront the man who had turned her life into a labyrinth of grief and lies.